Okay, good morning. We're going to get started with the final sessions for the SAC, so we'd like to give you a few seconds to get back into your seat. If you're inclined to come this way, please. All right, thank you. Good morning. As I said, my name is Dave Mims. I'm with the Automotive Industry Action Group. I'm the Director of Commercial Development for the Southeastern United States. Very happy to be here with you. AIG, if you're not familiar, is a not-for-profit automotive trade association. We bring OEs, all their tiers, service providers, and others together to identify common industry problems and develop solutions to those problems using the power of our 3,500 strong members. You may know AIG for our standards, publications, and trainings, like the latest one that's been issued, the new FMEA manual, which is a joint manual with AIG and VDA of Europe, first globally harmonized edition. But AIG is also adding tools to support the daily operations, especially for smaller suppliers who don't have the bandwidth to do things like cybersecurity and PPAP development and submission systems. So we're providing daily operation tools like that now, too. Our strength is our members, and our board of director companies you see here are supporting free sponsored membership for those smaller suppliers and for minority and women-owned businesses. So please stop by booth 133, and we'll see if we can help you out. So it's my pleasure today to be given the role to introduce Tim Szymcek. Tim has over 25 years of manufacturing experience, including a stint with Toyota, where he held various leadership roles related to supply chain development, quality engineering, new model development, and Toyota production system training. After leaving Toyota, Tim had a few other roles as well, including a contract executive for Adidas as the head of global quality restructuring and the head of quality for an electric powertrain company called Alti Electric Powertrains in Troy, Michigan. Tim's presently the vice president of global consulting for J.D. Power. Now, if you design, make, sell, or buy anything related to automobiles, you know J.D. Power and their influential and highly valued awards for initial quality and durability. But today, Tim is going to explain a different side of J.D. Power you may not be familiar with. So please join me in welcoming Tim Szymcek to the stage.
Thank you, Dave. It was also great to see you here after about 15 years since we worked together at Toyota. Dave's got a lot of great experience from Toyota as well. So everybody knows who J.D. Power is. I'm going to talk a few things about the industry right now and a few things about what J.D. Power does, and then get into some specific things of what we're doing to try to help with the changing environment in the automotive world. So we've got a lot of challenges right now in the industry. I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm not sure that things are much different than they've ever been in automotive. Automotive is always sort of an industry that's anticipating changes and looking in the future, and maybe a bit of worry about the future since it's such a capital-intensive industry. So we've got things changing right now. There's a bit of a slowdown in the industry. Some places are cutting jobs. We've got some trade tensions going on with our politics, and some regulatory things are changing recently. Some are good, some are bad. Global pressure going on from different places in the world trying to come into the different markets. We've got consumers that are smarter and more in tune than they've ever been. They've got more data available about the products than they've ever had before. New technologies in the vehicles that's really advancing every day and making them safer and more interesting. New market entrants, car ownership shift. We just saw a very interesting presentation on this earlier, so I took a few notes from that one. Something we're anticipating. Everybody knows EV's coming. I should say it's been here, but now it's being more accepted and easier to get charging and everything else. So it looks like that's going to happen very soon and quickly. So where do we fit in amidst all of this? So you're familiar with this. This is the best part of my job, to be able to give these awards away. Everybody's happy on the day that they win an award, but nobody's happy on the day that they don't win an award. So we've got some solutions that we work with the automakers, and a lot of people don't realize that we actually do it. This is a little bit of history of our company. Founded in 1968. We're in 19 countries. We have big offices. We analyze about 25 million surveys a year to get all of the data and give that back, that consumer information back to the OEMs. And we also have a lot of information on the connection between the consumers and the sales. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that next, on why is quality important in a vehicle. So most everyone here is related or involved in manufacturing. So you know that it costs, if you have quality scrap or rework, that all costs money. But a lot of people don't put a clear number on the return customers that didn't come back to you because your quality wasn't right. So this is a bit of repurchase loyalty information. And you can see if you have 0 issues with the vehicle in the first 90 days, that you have about a 52% loyalty return. And if you have 3 or more issues, you have about a 44% loyalty return. And we know this by we can see all of the purchase information of what kind of car was traded, what kind of car the person had previously, and what kind of car they ended up buying, and also how many issues they have with the car. So we analyze a lot of data to put this together, and it's pretty accurate information. So that seems like not such a small percentage between the high and the low, 6 to 8%. However, if you put a financial number on that, and percentage of reduction in actual loyalty by company here, you can see Hyundai and Kia are at the top right now. They have got the best loyalty return customer of any of the automakers right now, at only losing about 1.5%. So the next slide here, we talk about what does a 2% loss of consumer loyalty do to a customer. This is an actual OEM with about 1.4 million sales. I won't mention the name of them. It's irrelevant, but they lost 2% of their loyalty, and the transaction price of $26,000, they lost $760 million in return sales. So pushing $1 billion of lost sales simply because they had a high rate of issues in the first 90 days. So that's a number that a lot of people don't think about, but it's a very important number. If you're losing 2% of your customers every year, you can imagine what that's going to do to your company after 5 or 10 years. You won't have many left. So J.D. Power works on a left-to-right model with syndicated studies. So these are going out to the customers, to the suppliers, to the automakers, getting data on how they felt about the products and services, how they felt about your sales experience, how they felt about the actual product, how they felt about the quality of the product, and also the appeal of the product. In other words, did I love the features and controls and the way this vehicle was, and did I also love the quality of the build? Then we have proprietary solutions. So this is research data and looking at the business performance, and advisory services. So I'm responsible for advisory services globally, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. We service a lot of industries. You probably see it on television with healthcare and other things, but primarily we are an automotive company. I'm not going to go through a lot of these slides in detail because I've got a time limit here. So we're going to talk a bit about the design process and about the manufacturing process, and then I'm going to leave the rest of this. If anybody's interested, all this is online. You can take a look at it and really get into the details of what we do. These are all the different programs that we do. The product quality is primarily what I want to talk about today. On the inside track, there are things we do with the design of the vehicles. In other words, we're trying to improve the appeal of the design so that when you design a car, it is meeting what the customers are wanting for the next generation of vehicles. And we analyze all the information of the past vehicles and the current market, how the sales are trending on the different models and options to understand what the customers are really wanting. And we can even separate that by region and country. And on the outside of that are the more manufacturing-related things. So we come in and talk about how you're doing your manufacturing to improve manufacturing systems for quality and different things. One thing that's interesting about J.D. Power, we're one of the few companies that actually has a lot of insight into the automotive companies. We're able to go into almost every single automotive company and look at what they're doing in production, what they're doing in design, and also how their sales are going. So we have a very deep insight into that OEM world. On the process improvement side, we do assessment, support, and training. We start with an assessment to understand what kind of things are going on in the factory, and then we do support, training, or hands-on consulting with our team. We've got a team of people that have been as factory managers at various companies like Toyota, Honda, and really a great amount of experience in that group. This slide is really busy, I apologize for that, but it's just talking about how we support from concept all the way through the service life of the vehicle. This is a new program we're starting called the Independent Benchmark Review, and what we're doing is looking at the OEM factories and benchmarking them against the global best practices, showing them where the gaps are between what they're doing today and what the best companies in the world are doing, and how they can go from where they are today, taking the next step in the quality journey and improving their operation on a long-term engagement. So this is something that we do every 6 months with the OEMs, similar to Harbor Reports. Harbor Reports is a self-reported set of data where the OEM is giving the information. This is something that our team comes in and does an assessment with the factory and understanding where they are exactly. Creates a deliverers report like this. It's a one-pager, so you take a really complex system of sometimes several million square feet of a factory and condense it down to a very simple, this is where the issues are in the factory and where you need to go for the next improvement. Creates an improvement plan and a prioritized list for them every 6 months. We also do this program for suppliers, something that people don't realize we do. So in the supplier world, we do a site certification. It's where we can go into a supplier, certify them to a certain level of performance, and give them an award for that, and they can leverage that recognition. And that's it.